It's been a long wait. After over 1.5 years, we finally continued the main Guild Wars 2 story. With another dragon biting the dust and Sylvari team story that dominated pretty much come to its end, it's finally time for a different and hopefully more satisfying story. I made a selection of my top moments while playing through the first episode of Season 3. Did I forget some? Be sure to tell me. Let's have a look. The first act concerning Air's memorial wasn't the most exciting part of this first episode with not a lot of action. We do get a lot of dialogue and background info on Air. For instance, we learn that Destiny's Edge name came from a fusion of two pit fighting groups, one consisting of Zoja, Snap and Air, and the other consisting of Logan, Whitlock and Kate. I really appreciate the amount of work ArenaNet put into this dialogue, since it's just as easy for ArenaNet to not do this.
About Air as a young Norn. Almost as soon as she could walk, she showed the instincts of a hunter. But it wasn't until she was as tall as a short bow that she met evil for the first time. She came upon dragon spawn attacking a farm, killing an entire family. The daughter was one of Air's friends. All by herself, Air took down 3 of them. She saved an injured kid and even carried him back to Holbrick. That kid grew up to be a great skald. His name is Corvin, and his life testifies to Air's first legendary deed. Air had passed longbow height when she made her vow. One night, 100 dragon spawn attacked Holbrick. Jormag's ice brood were merciless. They brutally killed her friend Silas the Weaver, a crafter like Air herself. With Silas's blood still upon her, she swore to destroy the ice brood and all the elder dragons. I'll tell you how Destiny's Edge came to be. Air met the Asura Snaf and Zoja first, here in her homestead. They came to commission a stone carving of Snaf's head. During the sittings in Radasum, they became friends. Then the 3, and Garm, returned to Holbreck together. I'll never forget how they shocked the citizens of Holbreck when they emerged from the Asura Gate. Snaf and Zoja each rode inside enormous golems with the stone heads Air had sculpted for them. They raided a frigid dragon spawn cave, and a lasting friendship was forged amid the icy shards of bitter combat. Many ice brood fell that day, but still Air failed to kill Jormag's lieutenant. The 3, nay 4, counting Garm, limped back to Holbreck, having lost their golems and their pride.
You're capturing her essence quite well.
In retaliation, Jormag's lieutenant sent a devastating ice storm onto Holbreck, killing many beloved residents. Newt Whitebear was beside himself with fury and banished Air until she could defeat the beast. Air went to Lion's Arch, where she spotted a small guild of criminal pit fighters known as Edge of Steel. The first battle they ever fought together, they fought against each other. In the pit, Air and her friends, calling themselves Dragonspawn's Destiny, fought Edge of Steel and won. She demanded her prize, that Edge of Steel help with the second assault on the Dragon Lieutenant. The Edge of Steel fighters had to agree. Ritlock Brimstone, Logan Thackeray, and Firstborn Kaith joined Air's cause. When Air next entered Holbreck, she was with Destiny's Edge. They went on to destroy the Dragonspawn Lieutenant. It was the first of many important battles they would fight, and win, together.
Going from one member of Destiny's Edge to another, as Whitlock Brimstone is also present at Air's memorial to pay his respects. It also seems like Whitlock would be joining with Dragon's Watch the new Destiny's Edge. I couldn't be happier about that, as Whitlock is one of the most fun active characters we have right now. His badass and grumpy nature causes some very funny scenes during Out of the Shadows. I hope they keep using Whitlock during future episodes and expansions. He's a great character to have. Let's have a look at some of his most memorative scenes this episode.
Hey, you're that Redlock trombone, the Revenant, right?
Close enough. Now why don't you do Uncle Trombone a favor and buzz off?
But I want to hear about the Blood Legion.
Don't you think quietly weeping in the corner by yourself would be more fun than this?
Nah, this is fine.
Yeah,
Such Fate's Razor!
I will not be part of a guild called Fate's Razor.
What about Dragon's Watch?
Dragon's Watch. I like that.
Can I be in it?
No.
But I've got my Uncle Beamish's magical sword!
Yeah,
Not yet.
Got your letter.
Funny, I also sent one to this guy, but he barely made it.
Your note failed to mention how to navigate this Asuran playground.
He got lost trying to find the lab. I had to follow the non-stop stream of Char expletives to track him down.
City of the future, my tale.
Let me take the lead, Ridlock. I was given specific orders on how this was supposed to be executed. I don't need you to defile it with your inclination to blindly smite.
If that's a blindfold crack.
We already saw a bit of her in action, but next to Whitlock, Taimi is the most entertaining character in the living world. She's funny and well built. She has a clearly defined role in the story as the one who uncovers the science behind the dragons, which is something you can't say of other members of the new Destiny's Edge. Characters like Marjorie, Casimir, Rox and Bram struggle more as their role within the story is not as well defined as Taimi's. Here are some of Taimi's most shining moments in the first episode.
At least you have a lot of hands to pitch in at the Dragon Lab.
What do you mean, Commander? I've never heard of this room you describe. Keep it down about the Dragon Lab. I don't want anyone finding out about it. Especially...
Hello, progeny.
Counselor Flunt, how lovely to see you. I'm so pleased you didn't end up on a Chalk's breakfast menu this morning.
You can stow the dim insults. They'll never be clever enough to wound me. Now, have there been any new developments today?
Why, none that I can think of.
Allow me to warn you about keeping secrets from me, progeny. My wrath is as fierce as my intellect.
Oh, that sounds terrifying. I wouldn't dream of hiding something from you, Counselor.
Look into it.
No, I utilized it to check on the egg.
So you broke into it.
Hey, we're all friends, right? I don't think they'd mind. Maybe just don't mention it around any floaty gold people.
Do you have access to surveillance all over Tarir?
Back to the ley line map.
Commander, over.
Did you mean Commander out? It's okay. Communicator protocol takes a little getting used to. Taimi out.
I know a certain big-eared Asura who'd love to be here to study this.
I heard that!
Up and until this point, Guild Wars 2 has been more focused on lore created for Guild Wars 2 and left Guild Wars 1 lore mostly on the table. This always felt like a huge waste as you have a beautiful established world full of lore for Guild Wars 1 ready to be used for Guild Wars 1, but it never happened. With the first episode of Season 3, they finally dove back into Guild Wars 1 lore and brought back one of the biggest bad guys Guild Wars 1 knew, the White Mantle. They stayed pretty much faithful to the White Mantle of Guild Wars 1 as far as design and behavior goes. Through the scraps of paper littered through the new Bloodstone Fen map, they even managed to give information to the inner working of this new Guild Wars 2 White Mantle. Oh, and let's not forget the inclusion of Justiciar Hablion's ghost as an event boss. I, just like many others, can't be happier that the White Mantle is back. When talking about top moments, you can't look past Lazarus the Dyer. In their decision to bring back Guild Wars 1 lore, the return of Lazarus is probably their best choice so far. Lazarus the Dyer is the last surviving Mersat. Lazarus is one of the Mersat present at the rise of the White Mantle. He assisted Sol D'Alessio in the defense of Kryta against the Char invasion. Lazarus was one of the few survivors of the Flame Seeker prophecies. He split himself up into several aspects and imbued them within members of the Broken White Mantle. When Lazarus came for his last aspect within Justiciar Naveed, things didn't go as planned. Naveed had corrupted the aspect, and upon consuming the aspect, Lazarus fled in agony, vowing vengeance against countless generations. It seems like we're going to be that generation if it's up to Lazarus. It does, however, seem like Lazarus' motives aren't as clear-cut as killing everyone. I wouldn't be surprised if we would find a temporary ally in Lazarus at one point or another, with the emphasis on temporary, that is. To point out some minor criticism in an otherwise a great story patch, I did feel like the inclusion of Colicus and Lazarus felt somewhat sudden. I would have liked it better if those characters got some more build-up or were teased more in this episode or in the updates before this patch. Let's hope they keep the quality at this level though. If so, Season 3 promises to give us lots of fireworks and surprises. See you in 2 or 3 months for Episode 2.